He's an NCAA champion. He's a Hall of Famer, and he's the head coach at Georgetown University. I'm going to throw my towel on right now because I have to represent the right way. Listen.
Way to represent. Way to represent. I'm loving it.
Got to represent for you, Coach. Good to have you here. Now, listen, at the beginning of the preseason, they picked your team to finish last. You just cut down the nets at Madison Square Garden. You do it in the building that you became famous in, where your jersey is hanging up in the Raptors, where you were a teammate with Greg Anthony. Just describe that feeling of winning that championship in MSG.
It was a remarkable feeling. Just like you said, they had us picked last in our conference, and all year long I've been trying to talk to my guys about having a chip on their shoulders. You know, this is where they see you or perceive you as being the last team in the conference. And we had the whole year to work on our craft, to get better, to blend. That pause that we had, I think it gave us an opportunity to readjust and reflect on what we have been doing. And when we came back out of the pause, we just hit the ground running.
Patrick, congrats, man. It's an incredible story, right, to finish, be picked to finish last and to go on that run. And you talked about the message you preached all season long to your team, but what do you think clicked? What changed for you once the tournament started to, one, give you guys the confidence to believe, and then also to be able to play at a high enough level to ultimately win the title?
Well, all year long, I've been talking to them about that we had enough talent in the room, in our room, to get the job done. And just like I alluded to a few minutes ago, the pause helped us. But I think that once the season got over, after the pause, we were a very good team. I think we were 7-3 or 7-4. We had a couple bumps in the road. But right now we're playing our best ball, both offensively and defensively. We're locking people down defensively. We're getting the ball inside to our bigs. We're penetrating and we're getting threes. We're playing. We're able to score on all three levels of the game. And then against Villanova, we went 23 for 23 to be able to pull out the win from the free throw line. So everything is falling in place. And also, the night we won the Big East tournament, that was John Thompson's. That was to the date, the 49th year anniversary of Coach Thompson being hired at Georgetown. So I think he had a huge spotlight shining down on me, blessing me for that day.
Patrick, Rip Hamilton, man, first of all, congratulations. I was begging and praying that my Connecticut Huskies can get through Creighton so we can see some old school UConn versus Georgetown all over again. But you guys definitely handle business. Now, you guys are playing great, especially the last couple games in the Big East. How can you carry that momentum that you had in the Big East tournament and kind of do the similar things, play hard defense, share the ball on the offensive end? What are some keys now going into the NCAA tournament? And is there any guy in particular on your team that might not get a lot of credit, but, should get a lot of credit for you guys' success?
First of all, first I keep telling them, we got to keep that laser focus. We have to continue on that grind. I've been talking to them about steps. When we got to New York, I keep telling them the first step is to win the first game. Second step, win the second game, and so forth and so forth. And I think that Dante Harris he's done an outstanding job for us at the point guard position. Didn't think he was going to be the starter when the year started. Things happened. He was thrust into the starting position. He's been doing an outstanding job defensively of guarding all the elite point guards that we have in the Big East. And then also Chudy Bowers. Chudy, we inserted him into the starting lineup. He gives us a physicality. He gives us a toughness. He can make threes. He can get to the free throw line, and he can defend. I think those two guys are along with all the other guys, the Jamarco Pickens, the Javon Blair, and all the Kudas Wahar. You have to give my bigs their credit as well. All of them have done something special to be able to get us to the point that we are right now.
You mentioned going through those ups and downs. There's a lot of things that stopped the season, injuries, COVID, what have you. But I just have to ask you, as I repped the towel one time for the late, great Coach Thompson, what are some of the things that you've implemented that maybe he did with your program that has rubbed off on these players?
Well, the biggest thing is having them use their platform. You know, Coach Thompson was a huge believer in speaking out against the injustices that's going on in this country. And, you know, I try to do the same thing by using my platform and also try to educate them about using theirs. You know, it's not just about the basketball. You know, one of the biggest things Coach Thompson always talks about is that at some point, the air is going to be let out the basketball. That means that at some point your career is going to stop. What are you going to do after? For me and Greg and Rip, it took us a while to be able for that to happen, but we found something else to do afterwards. So, you know, that's the biggest thing. You know, forget the X and O's or the coaching part of it, but that's the biggest thing that Coach Thompson, as part of his legacy, that I tried to carry on.
Indeed, carrying it on. But before we get out of here, you know, I have you here, a legend. GA played with you. I got to hear some great Knicks stories. You got to give me something. Give the viewers something funny that happened in the locker room, on the floor. Give us some type of funny story about GA that we can laugh about.
Well, you know, there's been I have a lot, but the one I want to talk about is the time we had in Phoenix. Greg had that wild shirt on. Doc Rivers and KJ got in an altercation. Greg, he was hurt. Him coming off the bench, throwing fists. You know,
he was feisty.
We have a lot that we can tell. Some of them we can't say on the air, but I'm gonna use that one.
Great story.
After Johnson, we have a free-for-all. Johnson blindsided Rivers. Rivers went down, and this could become ugly.
It is ugly.
Tim Captain is holding Anthony Mason. Foul was being held. And now, Johnson diving on Anthony. Oh, this is one you will not see in the NBA. This is awful. Pat Riley in the midst of it. Greg Anthony, though, took a shot at Kevin Johnson while he was being held.
They're trying to pull it down, but it's still not over.
Hey, that was a Versace shirt too, Patrick. It was a nice shirt.
Hey, he was always worried about his dress code. I tell you that to this day. He was always worried about what he got on.
Oh, man. Hey,
man.
Coach, we appreciate you. You beat the number 1 and 2 seed in the tournament, the first Georgetown Big East title since 2007. We wish you nothing but the best in the tournament. Good luck.
Thank you, and I got to rep Drake. Starting from the bottom, now we here.
Hey, started from the bottom. Now
Go
they
get
know.
him, big fella.
Hey.
Go get him.
There it is.
Congrats.
That's the legend.
Yes, sir.
Patrick
All
Ewing
right.
joining
Have a
us
good
today,
one.
the head coach of the Georgetown Hoyas.